Happy New Year, folks. It is now 2026, and it already looks like there is a complete shitstorm brewing in the horizon. That reminds me, Forza Horizon 6 will most likely be announced in the foreseeable future, and as much as I'm an unashamed, certified JDM fanboy, who will glaze a 40-year-old Corolla more than a massive full potter glazing an ornate flower pot, and I grew up on the Forza Horizon series. Yeah, I know, I'm still a fetus. When Horizon 1 came out. I do have my concerns when it comes to the next game in the series, to say the least. I also can't lie and say I've been following much Forza news lately, but Microsoft, just please don't fuck this one up. The first of these concerns is whether they will do Japan correctly. Looking back on Forza Horizon 5, they really didn't do a good job of making Mexico feel like an interesting place, nor did the portrayal of Mexico's car scene feel too authentic. Plus, they did a good job of giving every character a really annoying, vaguely racist layer of Spanglish to almost all of their voice lines. However, they supposedly do have somebody who's experienced in Japan's car culture on the team, so I'm not too worried they'll mess up the culture and general vibe of the next title, just hopefully it doesn't feel like more soulless Microsoft corporate slop. Another concern I've got is with how Forza doesn't really feel like it's directed towards enthusiasts and fans of the series, rather being positioned as a game for everybody. Now, I'm not against making a game look more accessible or more attractive to potential fans, however the Forza Horizon series past the launch of the Xbox One, and more so after the success of Horizon 3, has felt like a franchise that is trying to attract as many people as possible. This particularly became an issue with Horizon 4 being available at launch on Game Pass, in my opinion. However, I'm cautiously optimistic that this may not be a huge concern for Forza Horizon 6, and this relates to a shift that Microsoft has had in the way it's been releasing its games in recent years. See, Forza was most likely designed to make the Xbox platform look as attractive as possible, as outside of Halo and Forza, Xbox don't really have any exclusives that could compete with what other platforms are offering. And with both Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite being available on the PlayStation 5, the game does not have to focus on being a flagship exclusive anymore. But with Microsoft wanting to push Game Pass onto other platforms, I'm not the most hopeful it'll be anything other than an advertisement for Game Pass on other systems. This does feel more like it's an Xbox brand identity problem rather than a Forza exclusive problem though. One of my other concerns is the map. Playground Games seems to have a problem of making a country road feel less like a route between two small towns, and instead a 6x6 lane superhighway. Plus, Horizon 5's map was built for the Eliminator, a game mode which next to nobody plays. This left the map feeling like a flat, empty wasteland. However, Playground Games also has a habit of testing upcoming map features using expansion DLCs, such as the Snow and Blizzard Mountain becoming Forza Horizon 4 Seasons. Do you miss those? Or Fortune Island's Treasure Hunt and Mountain Pass being incorporated in parts of Horizon 5, such as the massive drift road that was on the volcano. Fortunately, the roads in Horizon 5's Rally DLC seem to be a good indicator that the map of Horizon 6 will feature some decently realistic tollgate roads. However, if they do include a large city, I do hope that they can at least make it feel lived in, unlike what we've seen in the last two entries with Edinburgh and Guanajuato. Here's one of my biggest concerns when it comes to any Forza game: progression. I really hope that Horizon 6 gets its progression system right, as the game so far looks promising, but this is Forza. We can't really expect it to have a good progression system. I'm worried that the game will follow the modern Forza tradition of simply handing everything to the average Game Pass player, so they can get on with V12 swapping every single car in their garage. Although, I can at least hope that they'll bring back a longer, more rewarding progression system, even if I know they won't. But here's how I'd ideally want the progression system to be. Similar to pretty much every racing game ever made, the game would start off with some kind of introduction sequence, like it does in previous titles, acting as a tutorial for new players and as a way to hype up returning players. And after this, the game gives you one car and a small selection of events you can compete in. This car should be something like a shitbox Corolla or Civic, and follow a progression system not too dissimilar from what was in Horizon 2012. And I'm aware that I am pretty much explaining Horizon 2012's progression system, so I will stop myself from yapping about that. I'll just quickly finish this point with this. In my opinion, it would be best to have a more open online mode and separate career mode, similar to how games such as Need for Speed Unbound and GTA 5 have had. I am 100% aware that this most certainly will not happen though. Concern number 5, Horizon 3 reskin. I'll speed up the pace of these as I don't want to be rambling on too much, but essentially, a lot of long-term Forza fans will tell you the same thing. The last few Forza Horizon games have felt like downgrades and reskins of Forza Horizon 3, even more so with Forza Horizon 5. However, we most likely will see Horizon 6 based upon the same engine as Forza Motorsport 8, so, you know, the built from the ground up game. In other words, an even buggier Horizon 3 reskin. Concern number 6. AI and slopification. I'll keep this simple. It's Microsoft, they'll find a way to insert AI into a racing game. Concern number 7. Price. Simply put, game prices are rising. I 100% expect Horizon 6 will follow the industry trend of milking customers dry, especially as Microsoft have to compensate for the game being included in Game Pass, and for nobody buying Xboxes anymore. Concern number 8. Community. I mean, have you seen how little Forza's been listening to its core community over the last few years? I mean, I could go on with a whole long list of concerns I have for Forza Horizon 6, but I would be here all day. So here's a list of a few things I hope to see in Horizon 6. Think of this segment as a nice little mini wish list. Remodeled cars. The current S15 and A86 models will not do in a game hopefully focused on Japanese car culture. As previously mentioned, separate online and multiplayer modes. The return of car gifting. I know people were selling cars in previous games for real world money, but I do want to be able to gift my friends cars from time to time. A better auction house economy. This could also fix the problem of people selling cars for real world money. Return the option to quick sell cars. Nobody's buying duplicate cars from wheel spins in the auction house. Why was this removed? A car list more reflective of the game's setting, for example including Japanese luxury cars such as the Nissan Gloria, and including variants of cars such as the Corolla 11. Less focus on clothing items. I do think having character customization options is a neat feature, however the game could really do without giving these out as prizes from wheel spins. Plus, I've never really felt like these have been good prizes in festival playlists. I mean, I don't play Forza Horizon 5 anymore, but just simply offering something like a wheel spin or some cash instead would have been just so much more motivating to actually go through and complete these festival playlist tasks. And general improvements to things such as multiplayer. I do enjoy being vague. Anyway, I do feel as if Forza Horizon 6 is going to be a better game than 4 and 5 were, however I still feel as if there are areas where it could go horribly wrong. I do believe that this will go down as one of the better Forza Horizon games, and will be one of the 9th generation's signature titles, and to be honest, I am very much looking forward to playing Horizon 6, regardless if these things are addressed or not. Just maybe not exactly at launch. Cue outro.